Hi, welcome to this pre-conference interview for the Business by Design conference. My name is Martin Dawson, and I am one of the hosts and the curators of the Business by Design conference brought to you by Tech Circus. The conference that we've got organised for you, which is running from the 1st of November to the 3rd of November with workshop days on the 5th of November, is a brand new conference focusing on the maturity and the business acumen of design practitioners, leaders, and executives, and how that business confidence that we need to build up within design can help create better, bigger impact that design can have within organizations. And we've got a great lineup of speakers and workshops for you. And today I'd like to introduce one of those to you. I have the pleasure of introducing to you today Aditi Sharma. And Aditi Sharma is joining us from JP Morgan Chase. She is normally based in New York, but is currently in London for a year on assignment. And not only does she work at JP Morgan, but she also lectures at the Pratt Institute in UX design as well. Aditi, welcome to Business by Design.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for having me here today. And I'm just so excited to be taking a part in this very amazing conference. So yeah, just incredibly excited.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to be just spending about 10 or 15 minutes together today, just to let everybody know a little bit about you as a speaker, a little bit about why you're getting involved in the conference, and just a sneak preview of what you're going to be sharing with us at the conference. So can I start by asking you just to introduce yourself a little bit, how you have got to design leadership, and a little bit about your story so people can understand a bit more about you.
Yeah, so for me, I started with design in India, and I went to a design school in India, and I was always interested in looking at design-led sustainable impact. And for me today, I am a vice president of digital experience design at JP Morgan, where I'm really looking at wholesale payments operations, understanding customer journeys, building a design-centered culture for our business. And one of the biggest things that I've seen in my career is just me first understanding what design meant to me, and that culture across, whether I was a student in a design school in India, moving to America to do human-computer interaction, and inclusive design at Stanford D School. That really helped me sort of expand my vision of design. And then I continued to be a design consultant. My last job was with Accenture Interactive, where I was setting up digital transformation programs with Fortune 500 companies without going into names. So it's just been a quite exciting journey, Martin. And I think throughout this journey, design has humbled me, made me a better person, a better listener, and just helped me sell that creative mindset to a lot of other stakeholders or cross-functional teams who may think of design as something alien, and I've sort of got that within their own worlds. So yeah, that's been my journey.
Yeah, I mean, this is so true for many people, what you've just said there about people's, other people in organizations, their perception and understanding of design, and then our ability as designers and design leaders to communicate that value back to stakeholders. So I'm very interested in your experience with that. Tell me, this conference is about the business value of design. It's about design being able to articulate that value. It's about design being able to show up and have impact within an organization, and about the business confidence needed for that. What was it in particular that attracted you to taking part in this event with us and joining us?
I'd like to start by just expressing my heartfelt congratulations to you and the entire Tech Circus team for hosting such an incredible event. But back to your question on why should our audience or why should I be interested in coming in and speaking about business and design?
Yeah.
And to me, Martin, I think time and again, Fortune 500 companies have demonstrated the intrinsic value of design thinking as a competitive advantage that impacts the bottom line and it drives business growth. Um, and you can pick up any statistics. And I was reading a Design Management Institute put up this statistic that design-centric companies actually outperform their peers by almost 200% in revenue growth. So today, this growing trend is changing fundamental business practices by shifting the way C-suite is thinking. And business leadership has now realized that investing in design makes them money by reducing development costs or improving customer adoption, retention, and engagement. And if I go across the industry, I know that there's been more than $1 trillion that's been spent almost every year just on technology budgets. And fixing an error after development is almost 100 times more expensive than doing it in your design phase.
Yeah.
So, essentially, UX is bringing companies anywhere between $2 to $100 in return, which is huge. So, for me, when I think about this conference, it's very important for my own mission to grow design, to grow a culture, an inclusive culture, where design achieves purpose and achieves business goals.
Yeah.
And I'd like to put this myth to rest forever that design is just beauty.
Great. Yes, absolutely. I remember on one of the very first projects I ever worked on when I graduated, and it was actually at Accenture, we did a user-centered design approach to the design of the first ever online grocery site in the UK, and the development manager at the next stage, and we were still very waterfall in approach in those times, said that they saw 40% less change requests in their phase of the work than they had ever seen on any Accenture project ever before, and attributed to the fact that we had just done a user-centered design process to do the initial high-level design. And that was the first time I ever saw a solid statistic about the impact that design can have, and I've been chasing it ever since. So I'm with you on that one, Aditi. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing with us at the conference. Obviously, I don't want you to give away all your content. People should come and listen to the full session. But what is it you're hoping to share with us?
I think I touched upon it a little bit with your first question, but I think as a designer and someone who's always chased, as you said, creativity and the value of design, from the very beginning, my career aspirations have been inseparable for my zest to have that design-led sustainable impact. And it's always been my mission to consistently explore the dynamism of design, not just human-centered, but really looking at humanity and societies and cultures overall. And because of that reason, my work has extended beyond just selling or scaling the power of design at JP Morgan. And as you said before, I love to give back and share that knowledge of design with upcoming designers at Pratt Institute. And I love to aid societal impact as well with design, such as even recently I was working on some COVID relief efforts. So, overall, I've always found myself at the forefront of major digital transformations. And my experience has taught me to believe that design is most successful when it's not limited to designers. Design is an enabler of an inclusive culture where people come first by creating a space, Martin, for openness, for collaboration, for creativity, for empathy, a space which is really expecting some unexpected results, if you will, right? Like it's really pushing the bounds of what can be expected. So within my talk now, if I were to, it's really hard to summarize all of that,
Yeah.
but I'll do my best to do that in my talk. And I'll really talk about 6 practical hacks to master design thinking, design linking, and design scaling in enterprises. And I'll start by looking at selling design. So how do I understand user triggers, their motivations, what gets their attention, what really pushes them across any pain points, and what can we do to help them across that journey. Then I'll move on to talking about connecting dots, where service design can be used to align diverse stakeholders on a very unified mission. I think that's so important when you have one mission driving your stakeholders. And then I'll talk about creating human-centered products by looking at lean UX cycles so that you can iterate across those stages of exploration, experimentation, and validation. And then, true to my style, I'll talk about empowering others, how design can be that shared language for cross-functional collaboration, and how can you host some quick, easy workshops as well to bring people together. And then, of course, I just want to end it by looking at measuring success. How can data and design be a tracker for growth and improvement across customer adoption, your retention, engagement, and then just scaling that power of design and scaling that business impact. So I think in all, this talk will provide the audience pragmatic ways for them to practice the art of design thinking at scale, challenge the status quo, make sustainable business impact, and really inspire a digital transformation that fosters innovation, creativity, and happiness.
Fantastic. Well, I think that sounds really exciting. And you're going to be with us on day 2 of the conference at 3:30 p.m. UK time. And that sounds like that's going to be an absolutely awesome contribution, really linking that idea, as you were saying, of both the creativity and the collaboration and inclusion that design can bring, but also sounds like some real hard business impact measures as well, to make sure that the outcome of that is understood, measured, and designed for as well. So I'm really interested to hear about that, especially because I think sometimes it can be a little bit easier for us to imagine these things in certain types of experience designs, especially when we're talking about e-commerce and consumer. But you're working in a large, complex, regulated, scaled, wholesale banking environment, and that must be really challenging context.
It absolutely is. And every day there is a new challenge, right? I think like designers love to say that whenever I meet designers, when I'm recruiting or when I'm talking to new designers or when I'm attending any conferences, we always love to say that we love to problem solve. And I get to do that every day at my job. And I think the other thing that design has helped me do is really empower people and think about creativity as a shared principle. That it's not some elite club that you have to sign up for. It's really a way of living. And I think about design thinking when I'm cooking, when I'm going for a job, when I'm meeting people. Like, I'm always interested in knowing someone, in listening to them, in understanding where they come from, what journey they've taken. So I think if I apply the same thinking to enterprises, it's so true. And it's just so rewarding as well, Martin. Regulated for sure, But when I meet users and when my team is meeting users and when they're testing their concepts, the users give such amazing feedback, that you've just made my job easier. I'll be excited to come to work tomorrow. So
Great.
those things just really stay with you as a human being as well.
Brilliant. Oh, well, I'm really looking forward to it, Aditi. Thank you very much for taking a little bit of time to share with our audience and the Tech Circus community what's coming up in your contribution on day 2 of the Business by Design conference. And day 2 is the one focused at design leaders and managers. And of course, each of these days in the Business by Design conference is relevant for all people. But what we're doing across day 1 is we're having frameworks, practical advice that can help practitioners turn their design craft into more tangibly linking into the business and helping communicate how your actual activity within design is relevant to the business. And then for day 2, where Aditi is going to be focused, we're helping managers and leaders understand how they can lead those teams in that kind of environment where you're trying to link your activity to the outcome of the business and trying to, as Aditi says, be more inclusive and share those design creativity skills with the rest of the business and really turn it into a bit of a collaboration. And then day 3 is when we're going to be having the design executive conversation to try and understand how the role and career path and trajectory of design is changing now as design is growing up as a business capability. So Aditi, once again, thanks for joining us today for this sneak preview. I'm really looking forward to hosting you at the conference in 1st to the 3rd of November. And I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Thank you very much.
You too. Thank you for having me.